For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Today we have Shireen Sultana ma'am with us, the author of Midnight Poetries and 1:2000. Thank you so much ma'am for coming on our show. We are highly grateful कि आप हमारे शो पर आए.
Thank you, Gaurav. I'm truly honored to be a part of this show.
So, ma'am, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your book, about your vision, about your, upcoming plans, I would like you to please, just give a short introduction of yourself ताकि हमारी audience आपको जान सके, आप अपने childhood के बारे में, आप कैसे, youngest novelist of कोलकाता बनी, ये सारी चीज़ों के बारे में कुछ बताएं.
Gaurav, well, I started writing when I was just 8 years old, and that was the very first time जब मैं published हुई एक school magazine पे. And I remember my parents' reaction. They were so shocked seeing the publication because they had considered writing as a hobby that a very small child, that a young child takes up at a very tender age. But they had no idea that I would take this hobby as a professional turn one day. So, and besides that, I was active in public speaking. So I commenced with my debating at various platforms, and I continue that still. When I was 14, during this school time, I remember telling this storytelling competition, which was organized at a very famous radio station, FM 93.5. And these very small accomplishments have made an impact on my mind that to write and tell stories. And with this very little knowledge, I stepped into this huge field, and somehow I published myself when I was 19. And from thereby, I got the tag of being the youngest novelist of Kolkata. I continued writing my novel and published the same within a year. It's been around 6 years that I'm professionally linked to this field, and I would say that this journey has been all around of 15 years with more than 15,000 memories for me.
Definitely, ma'am. So as of now, are you a full-time writer, or it's a side thing, or just a hobby?
Well, I wanted to be a full-time writer. I still want to be a full-time writer. You can always take that on my bucket list. But we all belong to an Indian family where gaining a professional degree is more important than pursuing our passion.
Yeah.
And so for now, I have got two professions, and I give equal importance to both. I'm pursuing law, I'm practicing it as well, and also giving equal importance to writing.
Definitely, ma'am. Personally, what I feel that the scenario of financial independence in India regarding this industry is not that much stable. So probably that's the main reason why families are not forcing their child to do so.
Of course, they want a more of a stable career, which is financially stable, and little knowledge that people have got about the literary field. Very little knowledge that people have got about the arts field. So maybe this can be one of the reasons that they do not encourage their students to do not encourage their children to pursue the music, or be it dance, or be it any form of art.
So, ma'am, as we know that both of your books are released, so and I have just seen on Amazon that they are performing really well. 5 out of 5 stars are their ratings. So, can you give us some insight? Like, I completely believe that most of the people must have read them, but still there will be some kind of people who haven't read it yet, and they are listening and they're about to buy it. So, what they can expect from that book? Like, if you can share some insights with us.
See, I have authored 3 books till date, and the first one being the Midnight Poetries is a collection of poems and essays. My second book, 1:2000, is the first novel I published at the age of 19, and I secured the title of Kolkata's youngest novelist from that book. My novel is titled as 1:2000, which means every single unit of strength which can fight against orthodox norms. We all know the situation that prevails in India.
True.
regarding the orthodox norms and the women who are subjected to it primarily. So the novel completely focuses on that subject. And I have authored my third book, which is soon going to be in the market, and it's based on human rights. The
Okay.
name of the book is A World Divided: Human Rights in an Unequal World.
Okay.
And it unravels discourses of victimhood, oppression, suffering, and witnessing through a study of autobiographies, memoirs, reportage, media coverage, as well as documentaries. So the release is next month, scheduled on the 25th of the next month,
Okay.
and I just hope everything goes really well.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, congratulations for the upcoming release, ma'am. And
Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you.
I personally feel that your reader must be waiting because last book you have published about a couple of years ago. And,
Yes, of course. It's
yeah.
been a 2-year long break, and
Yeah.
I just hope that the market has yet not forgotten my face, my writing.
Definitely.
It's like a comeback. It's like a comeback, and I want this comeback to be really strong.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So ma'am, as you shared, the your first novel, 1:2000, it is based upon the orthodox behavior in the country and all those things. So is there
Yes,
any
yes.
particular message you want to, or a sort of advice you want to give to the girls growing up today? Because when it comes to being orthodox in the country, most of the rules are only applicable for girls only. What I personally feel, I may be wrong, but that's what we feel generally. So is there any sort of advice would you like to give?
Yes. I would say that an advice for the girls who are growing up today is that it is easy to think that there is an image that you are supposed to try to fit in. I just want you to know that image is someone else's perception, and when you try to fill in someone else's expectation of something, you will never be enough. You will never be enough because you're not made to walk on this earth to fill someone else's rapt expectation. You're made to live your life in your own way, and any girl shouldn't let anyone ever take that freedom away from her. There is no set way to live a life. The rules are imaginary. The formula which is set by the society is fake. The only rule that ever exists are to be free and to be kind. And I don't want the girls to think that it's going to be easy. Sometimes you won't know yourself, or you will feel like nothing you do is ever right. I just want to remind all of them that you're not supposed to have all the answers to live a perfect life. Just do the best you can and start again. Maybe it's never too late to start over and to pursue what they feel like.
Definitely, it's going to be one of the things which I'm gonna keep it as well for my life from this podcast, because this is what people must have to understand when it comes to in our country, because the expectations of people regarding girls, the assumptions, the things which they want to just force upon them is quite strange what we can see.
Exactly. There's this sentence that live and let live. And I think that is something which the society needs to understand. I mean, as I told that the rules, the formula which is set by the society, they are all imaginary. They are set by human beings. They were set years ago, and with modernization, with liberalization, we all want development. We all want change. We say, why is our country not changing? And why is the primary the surroundings they are not changing? So I think that these rules they have to be upgraded, they have to be developed, and they have to be, and I think as a person, it should be those specific women setting the rules and boundaries of their life by their own, and not following someone else's set boundaries.
There is a campaign in India, ma'am, named as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Have you heard of that?
Yes, that was set by our very own Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji.
Yeah. The other day I was just reading a quote, and it was written in Hindi. It was written, so it was like कि बेटी को बचा लिया, बेटी को पढ़ा लिया, अब बस उसे जीने दो. So that's something what we have to pursue as of now. Okay, so ma'am, my next question to this podcast is like, what is the upcoming, next 5 years plan? Like as of now, your book is about to publish next month, but what's upcoming next? Like, what we can expect as of now from you, like beyond this book, the upcoming one.
If time and other factors permit, I would say 5 books in 5 years. But practically, I mean, I would be, of course, focusing on my writing and aiming to write and publish more and more of my write-ups. Can't promise that there would be 5 books in 5 years, but yes, I would obviously be focusing on, a lot of productive writing works.
Okay. And ma'am, as you have shared that you have started writing from when you were 8-year-old, so you know, as of now, like, do you have any writing schedule? Like, okay, I will devote this much hours daily to my writing, or it's just like a random, okay, कभी कोई thought आया तो phone में या कहीं notepad पे लिख लिया, फिर बाद में बैठ के लिखते हैं. How does it goes with you?
ना, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा. I don't follow any schedule, but मेरी अलग अलग commitments भी होती है that I have within the day, and this is why I usually prefer writing after the dinner time, रात के वक्त, because everything is quite silent, and then you get your own space to write, and you can completely focus while the entire world is sleeping. But yes, I would say that as an author, I can start writing at any point of the day, at any place, the moment ideas start inflowing.
Okay. So basically, you're one of those people, who thinks that, what it is said, it is like, creativity is something which follows you. You can't just chase it, right?
Of course, creativity is something that follows you. Okay. It's like, if it's like something that if there are things that what influences you to write, and I think it's everything and everyone around us. The answer is very short and simple. Anything and everything which is surrounding us.
True. Definitely. So ma'am, just a question, आपके last को जो आपने बताया कि 5 साल में 5 बुक लिखने का आपका प्लान है. So like there's a question, like when it comes to in India, like जैसे आपने अपनी पहले आपकी जो एक पोएट्री की बुक थी, after that 1:1000, and this one is based upon the human rights and all. But what I personally feel, ma'am, people are more inclined towards the genre of romance and erotica, what I feel, because the generation is people are in early 20s or 30s, and they are completely inclined towards all those things, and they are being comfortable in that fiction area. And most of the authors as well, they are just playing it very safely, and they don't want to experiment. They just want to keep it like that. So if in future, let's say if any novel demands, or if there is a market demand to write some romance or erotic novel, something like that, so would you be comfortable in that?
See, I would say that I would rather question you that see, when we talk about market demand, there are two things that an author, from a marketing point of view or from a sales point of view, that should be focused upon. That should be that is the the audience at large, within with years, when we authors, we publish books, and automatically there is a set target audience. You make an audience build up, and every author has that one. So there should be two parts to this question, that if just the market wants only for the purpose of selling, you just want your book to sell like hot cupcakes, and this is why you want to include erotica in your novel, or is it that this the context of the book demands erotica? So I would rather tell you that if the market is planning just because for the sales of the book, I would say that Shireen doesn't write to sell. I write stories to tell. So I will always write stories in which I believe in, and if obviously in the novel, if there is a part which which it demands, and there's a context, rather I would say, then maybe I can include one in it. There's no harm.
Okay, so ma'am, as we can see that after lockdown, there are numbers of authors getting published almost every week. Like we can see around
Mm-hmm.
50 to 60 books publishing every week, because the publishing is very easy, and self-publishing, lots of publication house are opening every month.
Yes.
So as we can see that the number of books are increasing day by day, in terms of publication. And so what sort of competition do you feel like it's getting tough, or do you believe that it's a creative field and everyone is in their own journey? Like, what's your take on this?
See, Gaurav, I would say that if you see, competition is present in every other field, but as the saying goes, let the best one emerge. And so it happens. I believe that it actually happens naturally, that the best one emerges through its raw talent. I believe that there is no point in anticipating your future by comparing it with the success rate or the journey of others. We should rather concentrate on our own journey and make the best out of it. So competition is there. Competition is obviously present everywhere, and but there's a lot of time that a budding author will feel demotivated. But I would again say that not to compare your journey with the journey of others, because you never know what it actually took for the other person to reach to that stage. So we should rather focus on our journey and let the best one emerge with the best of their particular talent.
Okay, so my next question to you is like, there's a sort of perception what I can feel in India, basically in the rural areas, and it's like a published author is full of glamour, fame, and all. People think that okay, if a person is a published author, then he or she must have been lots of fame, recognition, money, and all those things.
Yeah.
But what is the truth behind that? Like, you have been in fact the Kolkata's youngest novelist as well. So what sort of change you have seen in your environment, in your the way the people treat you and all those things?
I would say that people believing that being a published author is glamorous. It is true. It's actually up to good authors and good books. We can have more readers, and a lot is being published, but you see the quality is not always very good. So to attract glamour to oneself, it directly depends on the creativity that one possesses. And I would say that yes, there are there are family and friends, and there is the audience that I have. So yes, to some extent, I think that I have been accomplished, but there's a long way to be. There's a long way to go.
Definitely. We are having a conversation from around 15 to 20 minutes, but from that only I can sense that you are not feeling accomplished at all, because there's a lot of more things which you are planning in the future.
Yes, of course, there's a long way to go.
Okay, so ma'am, like do you think that you could ever fail as a writer, like failing in terms of there are a lot of things in which a writer can fail, like in terms of expectation of their readers, the book is not doing well in the market and all those things. So is there any have belief or any sense of fear that you could ever just fail in the market?
See, well, I'm a paradox. I strive for perfection. So I congratulate myself for my little triumphs, yet I also scold myself pretty severely for my failures. So I focus on actionable ways to improve my failures, so I don't repeatedly make the same mistakes. And if you're talking about success, I would say that love writing, love reading, love the process. Write because you love to write. Write because you have a story to tell. Never stop learning and focus on your job. Do not focus on the result. Being happy is important, because success is just a perspective. It will eventually follow. That's the fact. And be it any field, be it any profession.
Definitely. Okay, so ma'am, as we have talked about your journey, about your books, about upcoming plans and all those things. So now coming to your personal
Mhm.
life, can you share with us like how do you celebrate your success and how you tackle or manage your failure as well?
Well, as I told you that, I celebrate the little triumphs that I get for myself,
Hmm.
and the little and the small and the big wins. And when it comes to for my failures, I always see a scope where I can improve myself. I take criticisms in a healthy way.
Hmm.
I believe that as an author you can always not satisfy everyone, not all the readers,
Hmm.
because this is why, because you have got different genres, right? And when a person asks the other person, like suggest me a book,
Huh.
and the other person, the first question that we ask back to the person is which genre.
Hmm.
So I believe that there's always in when it comes to this literary field, there are different sects, that people are divided, that readers are divided. And I would say that the reason, maybe one sect of the field is appreciating me, while the other
Hmm. Hmm.
sect of the field is not finding my book to be relative.
Hmm.
It's not
True.
relatable. And so maybe in that particular sect I have failed somewhere.
Hmm.
But that I would take that criticism in a very healthy way. I would rather see that maybe I can improve, maybe there's a scope for improvement. Maybe I can write better, or maybe I can focus on this genre as well.
Hmm.
Life is long, and I think an author should be open to all the genres.
Definitely. And what was the most happiest moment of your life, till now?
Well, Gaurav, I think I should say that we shouldn't count the good things in our life. So I tried my best to live happily every single day,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't mark any particular day as the happiest day,
Hmm.
since I'm always in an urge to make my upcoming days more happier and more merrier.
Hmm.
So yes, I have lived the happy days of my life as
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
and I just wish to continue living them in the future as well.
Hmm. And any addictions you have?
Yes, I have an addiction. No, I just have one addiction. Those are stories, always and forever.
Okay. So you stories as in you want to listen or write? What's that?
Both.
Okay, both. Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
listen
huh.
and I observe
Hmm.
and I notice them. I notice it around me,
Hmm.
and then I write them.
Okay. So, as you are writing from such a long time, I truly believe that you must have, read a lot of articles, a lot of stories as well. So, is there any
Mhm.
favorite line of yours you want to share with us? Like the one which have, stuck in your head?
I would say that there's this favorite line. It's a quote by Lemony Snicket, where it says that at times the world may seem unfriendly and a sinister place,
Hmm.
but believe that there is much more good than bad.
Hmm.
All you have to do is just look hard enough, and what might seems to be the series of unfortunate event may be the fact of the first steps of a new journey.
Hmm.
So I think that would that would be one of my favorite lines.
Okay. So the last question of this podcast, ma'am, is like if you could tell the younger generation about being self-published, or just normally about publishing as well. So what would be that one piece of advice for them?
See, I would think I would start start answering this question by saying this, that no matter wherever you look, despite wherever you live, there are stories all around us just waiting to be told. Think about the books that you are most drawn to, coupled with the genre again is the theme of the book. There are countless different themes that are considered as a tried and true subjects, but I think the younger generation may want to consider the newer and non-traditional method of publishing, which is self-publishing or independent publishing. Now, self-publishing platforms have been continuing to increase its ability and convenience. But I think the younger generation should keep in mind that self-publishing can quickly get them their book out in both electronic and hard copy format. And maybe there's a team working for you, and if there's an error or two, it does manage to slip through the editing process and it can quickly be fixed. And there are professionals who do their cover designing and ISBN, and but the authors have to do the upfront investments for the printing and marketing of the book. And it can they can list your books on Amazon and Flipkart, etc. But there is that the younger generation, if they want to actually focus on self-publishing, I would say that the ebook consumption in India is much lower than the hard copy, but the ebook way is a great way to start writing your journey and to see if the readers like your book, because it is less of an investment, and it just sets a digital audience. Since we are moving ahead with digitalization, so I think it would be my advice to the younger generation would be to see for this particular method more.
Okay.
As an author who's just starting.
So basically you're saying that first if you're going for self-publishing, then don't invest much on the paperback and all those things. Just first go and have a try with the ebooks as well.
Yes, that is like really important, because if you are publishing your book, of course your publisher is going to list your books on Amazon, Flipkart, and these places, but I would say that to target the audience which are digitally based, that is one of the most important aspects also. And of course there are people who would buy, who would go for hard copies as per their convenience, and you should actually balance both of them as per your audience needs. If you know that this is your readership and this is what your readers want, an author should know how to balance, how to keep your audience, how to keep your readers satisfied with your quality work.
Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this episode, and if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy and read the books. Just go on Amazon, वहाँ पे जाइए, सर्च करिए शिरीन सुल्ताना मैम की दोनों बुक्स आ जाएंगी, और नेक्स्ट मंथ तक तीनों बुक्स वहाँ पे लिस्ट हो जाएंगी. जरूर खरीदें, पढ़ें और अपने जानने वालों के साथ, चाहने वालों के साथ शेयर करें. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. It was truly an amazing experience to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much. I absolutely enjoyed working and talking with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's our pleasure. Thank you.